Hello everyone, welcome to Topper IAS. So as part of our daily series, today also we will discuss a particular topic from the mains point of view. Okay, so let's get started then. So we have taken a issue topic related to judiciary, paper 2. So judicial review and judicial activism. So why did we take up the issue? So during COVID pandemic, a number of issues were raised with respect to way the COVID situation was managed by the central government. Okay, and judiciary itself suo motu took up the case, what how the center is dealing with the COVID pandemic, and it has questioned the n number of decisions made by the center. For example, like vaccination policy, right? It has questioned. It even went on to say that the vaccination policy of the government was arbitrary and irrational. Okay, like states have to procure the vaccines, and 18 to 44 age group have to pay for the vaccines. So Supreme Court said these are not logically justifiable and they are irrational and arbitrary. And it also said, like, if you are getting the a bit of on concession, why don't you buy all the vaccines and you distribute to the state governments? So Supreme Court has made these end kind of recommend like observations on the government vaccine policy. Okay, so for us what is important is, so policy making, right? So policy making a domain of executives. Okay, but Supreme Court is commenting on this. So judiciary has to interpret the law and say whether it is constitutionally valid or not. But here you see judiciary directing executives about their policies. So it gives us whether there is a breach of spirit of separation of powers. Okay, so we have separation of powers, right? So the question comes, right? So legislative, judiciary, executive. So judiciary encroaching upon the area of executive or directing the executives. So against the spirit of separation of powers. So one thing we should know, like in India, we do not have strict separation of powers. Okay, but we do have separation of powers. Spirit of separation of powers is followed. But whenever Supreme Court, like whenever judiciary encroaches in these spheres of legislature and executives, it is repelled with the term judicial activism and like judicial overreach also. Okay, so these are the terms which are in use. So as I said, why did we pick up the issue? Because that's what Supreme Court commented, made observation on the policy which was the domain of administrators and all. So this is an example of judicial activism. So whether it is right or wrong, so what are the good things or bad things that are likely consequences of judicial activism? What are the reasons of judicial activism? Those all things we will see. Okay, so where did it begin? It begins with the so basis of judicial activism comes from the judicial review. Okay, so judicial review, what is judicial review? Is nothing but power of judiciary to examine the constitutionality of laws made by the legislature, okay, and orders made by the executives of central and state government. Okay, so judiciary will be examining constitutionality of these things, so that we refer it as judicial review. And few factual things, like a phrase judicial review is nowhere been used in the constitution. Okay, however, there are several provisions, several articles within the constitution which confirm the power of judicial review on the Supreme Court and High Courts. Okay, so which are all those articles? So you already know Article 13 declares that laws that are inconsistent with or in derogation of the fundamental rights shall be null and void. So it implicitly provides for judicial review, right? Because so based on that only you are reviewing the law, and if it is inconsistent with the fundamental rights, so judiciary is going to declare the law as null and void. Okay, so this confirms the power of judicial review. And we also it also gets judicial review power under Article 32 and Article 226. So Article 32, it guarantees citizens a right to move to the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Okay, and even it gives power to Supreme Court to issue directions, orders, or writs for that purpose, that is to enforce the fundamental rights. And Article 226 empowers high courts, okay, to issue directions, orders, or writs for the enforcement of fundamental rights or any other purpose. So apart from fundamental rights, it can also issue writs for other purpose where Supreme Court cannot issue it. Okay. uh, so these are the few articles like Article 13, Article 32, Article 226, which are providing for a judicial review. Okay. So, and apart from that, one more point, a fact you should remember is judicial review is part of basic structure of the Constitution, hence cannot be amended. So the basic structure of Constitution that has been evolved by the judiciary. Okay, so certain fundamental principles, basic principles which cannot be done away or removed from the Constitution. So Supreme Court has over the time defined what all constitutes a basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so as a part of basic structure of Constitution, we also have judicial review. So judicial review is also part of basic structure of the Constitution. So this thing cannot be taken away by the amendment of the Constitution. So these are there. So what is the significance of judicial review then? So we know it is a kind of checks and balances, a system of checks and balances. So it keeps legislature and executive coming out with laws and regulations which are beyond provisions which are guaranteed through the Constitution. Okay, then upholds the principle of supremacy of the Constitution. So same like a similar line analysis that you cannot go out of the provisions, a spirit of the Constitution. So whatever laws are there, they have to be consistent with the provisions of the Constitution. So that is why the supremacy of the Constitution is upheld. So if they are not in consistence with the provisions, they will be struck down. So supremacy Constitution is a supreme. Okay, and all thing every law should be adhering to the principles of the Constitution. Then even maintains the federal equilibrium. Yes, there are a number of provisions within the Constitution. So judiciary acts as the federal court, that is Supreme Court. So that also helps to us maintaining federal equilibrium also. Then protects the fundamental rights of the citizens. So as we already saw, Article 32 and Article 226. So citizens can go to Supreme Court and High Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights. So judicial review also helps to protect fundamental rights of the citizens. Okay, so these are the few benefits of judicial review, or the reason why judicial review has been provided in the Constitution. Okay. Then we come across with the term judicial activism. Okay, so what is this judicial activism? See, so name itself says activism. So proactive role played by the judiciary in the protection of rights of the citizens and promotion of justice in the society. Okay, so it is not passive, it is very active. It is active so that rights of the citizens are not violated, there is no injustice in the society. So it comes out to protect the rights of the citizens. Okay, so it is very pro in that work. Okay, so to achieve that, what does it do? It goes not just saying whether law is constitutional or unconstitutional, or whether your policy is arbitrary, irrational. Apart from that, it also goes on to issuing certain directives for center or state for certain commissions or omissions. So you particular part of the rule, you delete it, such kind of things, or you add certain things. Okay, so that one thing. And added to that, it also while active role in shaping social policy on issues related to civil rights, protection of individual rights, environmental protection, protection of weaker sections, etc. So these are the instances of judicial activism. See, like influencing, shaping the social policies. So civil rights, protection of, see for example, Now what is happening? Interstate migrants are there. So migrant workers are most affected because of COVID pandemic. Okay, so their livelihoods have, they lost their work. So now what they have to be, at least their food requirements have to be met through the government. So government, so judiciary, what active role it is playing? It is asking, it is asking, central government, what are you doing for the migrant workers benefit? What how are you, meeting the benefits of them? And super, so central government has said that one nation, one ration card will help in, addressing the food requirements of the migrant workers. So it was there in today's newspaper, if you see. So not only that, apart from that, it was government has also said that there are different, schemes will be run to meet the those people who are not covered in National Food Security Act also. Okay, so this government is doing, but judiciary is, playing an active role. So it is keeping a check, it is keeping other organs also active by asking the questions. Okay, so that is what you mean by the judicial activism, proactive role to protect the rights of the citizens. So right to get the food, right? So these people have to get the food. So this is a proactive role of the judicial activism. We will see in further there are different, n number of significant cases have been there where, they were all possible and new changes are possible because of active role of the judiciary. Then reasons for judicial activism. So how did it begin and all those things? See, the main reason for judicial activism is inactivity of the other organs of the government. So passivity, they're not active. See, for example, if government was doing on, or already doing benefiting works for migrant workers, Supreme Court would have never questioned the government that what are you doing with respect to meeting food requirements of migrant workers, right? So that is so that shows inactivity on the for part of executives or administrators. So that is why court has to intervene. So the main reason is inactivity of the other organs of the government. Okay, then written constitution. So written constitution, so moment the written, n number of words will be there. So the analysis of words gives a, scope for, newer interpretations. So newer interpretation is also based on the is also example of, judicial activism. Article 19, article 21, within them have n number of rights, right? For example, right to privacy is part of article 21, right to life and personal liberty, right? So these all broader meaning in new interpretations are also examples of, uh, judicial activism, proactive role, because it want to protect the right of the citizens. So this was possible because constitution is written, the words, give scope for newer interpretation. So written nature of constitution also, gives scope for judicial activism. Then civil society activism. Yes, civil society are, now people, also various groups working for the welfare of the people. They are, very putting pressure. They are coming out with the newer petitions, filing in courts and all, so that you protect the rights of the people. So because of their role also, there is increasing pressure on the judiciary to give, come with the verdict in favor of these vulnerable groups. Then personal preferences of judges. So yes, as I said, like right to privacy is there. So interpretation has been given, but judges are the one who are interpreting. So they have some judges prefer to interpret with give a new meaning, some may not give a new meaning. So these are the reasons which also, qualify, for judicial activism. If the judges is willing to go beyond the traditional meaning of the word. So personal preferences of judges also, makes is one of the reason for judicial activism. Okay, then we have craze of judges for populism, publicity, and making headlines. So this is also possible one reason. Okay, if they are, very conscious to get very popular and all, they might, to make a news, they might, over interpret or come out with a, sensational, interpretation and all. So that is also or other from that, if they come out with a sensational verdict and all those things, they will become popular among the masses also, right? So that is also quoted as one of the reason for judicial activism. Okay, so that's it with respect to today. Like we will see what were the different kind of benefits, benefits or the positive things we were able to see because of judicial activism. Okay, and we will also see what are all the concerns being raised with respect to judicial activism in our series of videos. Okay, so you can also download the PDF of this document in the link that is shared below. Okay, thank you.